And joining me now is Warren Davidson, Republican representative from Ohio and a former Army Ranger. Representative Davidson, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for your service. As we just heard from Owen, and as you know, the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill will be up for a vote on Thursday, and President Biden wants that spending bill, along with a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, to pass in Congress this week. Let's talk more about that. How are those negotiations going, and ultimately, how do you see this all playing out?
Well, in the Senate, there was a bipartisan negotiation on infrastructure. And as they were signing that, they came out. Nancy Pelosi made it clear there wouldn't be a bipartisan path in the House. She said this isn't going to happen as a clean vote. It's going to happen with the $3.5 trillion Bernie Sanders budget, which is now about $4.3 trillion. So $5.5 trillion worth of spending. She might break it apart. It looks like she's going to vote on the infrastructure bill as a separate standalone item. But we know it's not a standalone. It's like a gateway drug to the bigger package.
And additionally, we are also looking at a possible government shutdown come midnight on Thursday. Where do things stand right now? What more can you tell us about that?
Well, look, I don't know anyone that wants the government to shut down, but normally the debt limit is part of a negotiation. That turns out to be bipartisan most of the time. Speaker Pelosi, when Republicans had the House, Senate, and presidency, said the Republicans have the majority, they should pass it on their own, and so we did. Pelosi does not have the votes to pass it on her own, and I don't think she will. So she's trying to find a way to keep the Biden agenda alive. They promised to fundamentally remake America, and they can't do that without a higher debt ceiling. So they're literally, trying to push it as if Republicans are withholding votes. They want our votes, but no input at all from, particularly on the House side. So they're not going to get the votes.
And on a different note, today the top generals, including Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, testified in Congress about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Secretary Austin said although he doesn't believe there is, he cannot confirm or deny that 4,000 Americans are still in Afghanistan. I'd like to get your thoughts on that and the hearings so far.
Well, look, there needs to be accountability. I mean, that's why a lot of us oppose the NDAA. I mean, I'm a former Army Ranger. To oppose defense appropriations is very hard and painful. But you can't keep handing over the money with no accountability. No one's been held accountable for the failed withdrawal. And to listen to some of these people say it's a success, when would it possibly be a success to leave American citizens behind, knowingly? And they don't even know no account, but they do know for sure they left American citizens behind. And then when you look at the other failures, I mean, not only are they keeping their word to the Taliban and breaking their word to the American people, they still haven't found the ISIS-K folks responsible for the bombing that killed 13 Americans, on the Kabul airfield. They did target innocent civilians, and no one's been held accountable for that. So it sets a completely different standard. Meanwhile, a Lieutenant Colonel, Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, who spoke out and said, hey, leadership involves accountability, they put him in jail. They put him in the brig. So, again, one standard for the top brass and another one for the rank and file. It's shameful, and Congress should not support this leadership team.
Yeah, and as you know, General Milley also testified. He said that he recommended 2,500 troops actually stay in Afghanistan, which seemingly contradicts President Biden, who said that last month he did not receive that recommendation from President Biden. What is your reaction to that? And also, it seemed from this hearing a kind of lack of real answers and accountability.
Yeah, look, I believe that General Milley was right. That's been the military's position for a long time. 2,500 troops. They wanted to maintain a presence there. My understanding is Joe Biden kept his word to the Taliban and started leaving with the military first. And the fact that there wasn't a battle even at the embassy without classified info, you could tell that, hey, there was some reason that happened. And I think, reasonable people can draw that there was an agreement worked out with the Taliban. Milley was probably opposed to that, but Milley didn't have a good answer for, his conduct under the last days of the Trump administration for going past all protocols and talking directly to his counterpart in China, at odds with the commander-in-chief then. So he had no trouble contradicting the commander-in-chief when it was Donald Trump, but he's completely submissive and passive for the commander-in-chief when it's Joe Biden. It's shameful. He should be removed.
Well, Representative Davidson, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you weighing in. And again, thank you again for your service to our country.
Thank you.